I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, people of all ages around the world. This is the Foundation. Grateful to be with you, jamming on this beautiful Friday evening. Beam warm and easy, selector, as we continue to be able to talk about those things. I am grateful to be with you another day, another time in the land of the living. I tell you, there was a level of gratitude that I have every time I have an opportunity to be able to speak with you and to you. I don't take this lightly. I don't take this for granted. I need you to know that this is truly, truly an awesome thing that we're doing. And I'm always happy to be here with you as we continue to be able to talk about these things. Guys, make sure you pick up your papers today. Had an opportunity to be able to speak last night. Tonight is going to be sort of the wrap-up as we sit on Shanique's show and being able to talk about those things. I hope you guys are enjoying that. I'm definitely enjoying being able to sit with Garthy, and I hadn't sat together for some time. Yeah, it was. I was in the valley in the shadow, right? Not of death, but of development. Talk to me. Sometimes these seeds that continue to be able to germinate don't do so out in the open. You need to be in a quiet, dark space many times for you to be able to blossom into the thing that you envision, that you hope for. And so this is what has happened for me and to me. I have been in this kind of a space, and as a result of that, I find myself in this position growing and expanding exponentially in these particular areas. So I'm grateful. Like I said, I hadn't seen Garth in a while, sat with Garth, and he and I had wonderful, wonderful conversations, just being able to talk about these things, about what's happening around the country. Tonight, like I said, is going to be sort of the wrap-up of what we're doing. I'm going to be going on this evening. You'll see me this evening, and just being able to talk about that, all right? So it's a wonderful thing, and I'm always like I said, I'm always grateful to be able to do that and speak in this manner and really talk about where we are and where we're going as a nation, as a people. So I just wanted to let you know and touch base with you and say to you that this is what we're doing. There's a lot of things going on. I think a lot of persons are coming to the forefront, really being able to have conversations about these sorts of ideas as it relates to St. James constituency, what's going to be happening in that constituency, what did they make of Shannon Cartwright. I think I spoke about it ad nauseum yesterday. I did not do so on the People Radio, right? I did so here in this particular space, saying what I thought the value of Shannon Cartwright would be and what I believe that he brought to the forefront for him to be able to do those particular things. That's what I said. And so I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to my guns in those particular instances and really being able to talk about the worth and value, what I believe that Shannon can bring to the entire mix. I think that he's good in his particular capacity. I think that if you look at him, don't underestimate his potential and even his aspirations. He is, like I said to you yesterday, when you have vision, for you to be able to transition from this kind of this lullaby state, you have to fight to be able to bring that from the state that exists in the clouds to the natural realm. And so those persons who have vision are often fighters. Those persons who have vision are often impatient. Yeah, because they can see something that you can't see and they're eager to get to that. And that's Shannon Cartwright. He's shown us that. He has a vision. I don't know whether or not he's articulated a wider vision for the FNM or the country or any of these particular things. I think it'll be inappropriate for him to be able to supersede and step over sort of the formality that exists right now. However, I believe that based upon these particular elements, what we've seen from him, he has a lot to offer. And any man in their right mind who understands, they see E and then they see MC, right? So they know the square coming, right? E equals MC square. They know that. Any man who knows breadth times width times height, that can give you the area. Any man who understands the formula politically, traditionally in this country, can be able to understand that he has the rudimentary basic levels of that formula to be able to make out and become sort of the equation and yield to the equation, give an answer to what I believe the FNM has been looking for. Shannon. Yeah, Shannon. Shannon, difficulty is that the two men that surround him in the trifecta of leadership, one being Michael Pintard and the other being Dwayne Sands, both have aspirations for leadership also. I just get a little deep with you. And you know this about me. So don't fight me. Yes, they both have aspirations for leadership also. But how aren't they leaders? Yeah, in a sense. They've always been leaders, in a sense. But there is an ultimate position that they all seek to get to. And if they see in what I see in, they better, and these two forces combined, they better power up together to take Shannon out, because he coming for their job. Yeah, Shannon, I don't mean to put you out there and even put this into people's face, into their minds or whatnot, but we talk in politics, baby. We got to be able to analyze this thing with transparency, and we got to be accountable in our position as we do this. I'm looking at this, and I'm saying to you, I believe that Shannon has what it takes to be able to take the Free National Movement to the next level. I believe he does. I believe that Shannon has what it takes to be able to identify those persons who were wayward in their commitment to the Free National Movement. They were wayward. They were indifferent. They were distant. They were traveling. They were moving off. They were wayward in their posture as to whether or not we can even bother with this. And then they find themselves out there drifting, sitting down, having a conversation about, boy, I really wish the DNA will start again. Boy, I mean, should I go to the COI? Boy, they're looking for something other than the PLP. And no one can seem to be able to formulate can put together the right set of elements to put this equation together to bring people in. No one can balance this budget. No one can balance this equation. You got passion, you lack vision. You got vision, you lack articulation. You can't be able to spell it. You got articulation, you lack vision. There's so many things. There's not the right set of elements that are really complementing each other that cause people to be able to wake up and move towards. It was a perfect storm in 1992 for Hubert Ingraham. It was a perfect storm for Hubert Ingraham. Talk to me. It was a perfect storm for Hubert Ingraham. Hubert Ingraham found himself in this particular capacity. Cecil Wallace Whitfield not feeling well. The transition happened. The PRP won another general election. Hubert Ingraham came to the forefront, or he was approached. He came to the forefront. They made recommendations. The recommendations were strong. The FNM won in 1992, hands down. It was a perfect storm. He wasn't a perfect man. He understood his vision. He understood his determination. He had a desire to be able to move forward, and he made that thing happen. He made it happen. There hasn't existed another perfect storm. In my view, humbly, as I say this to you, it may be because Hubert Ingraham still exists. Yeah, man. Y'all don't want me to talk about Hubert Ingram. But, oh my God, Howard, don't talk about Hubert Ingram. You need to calm down. Yeah, I believe that there hasn't existed another storm because of Hubert Ingram. Hubert Ingram has not allowed anything to naturally and organically develop in the F&M since 1992. He has not allowed anything to mushroom to the effect of growth and development into the Free National Movement without his influence, his involvement, his manipulation. He has not. He has not. His hand has been quietly or pronounced in almost every decision associated with the Free National Movement since his inception into the organization. And the only time that he did not do that, and they found themselves in victory, was in 2017. He initially had something to do with it in terms of strategically putting ministers in place for leadership, and then after that, ministers tell him the Ingram era is over. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And we see this, and we identify these things, and we make a determination as to exactly what's what. Now, we got to have the clear conversation about this. We got to be clear about this. We got to talk about this. We got to understand these things. And if we look at the makeup of these things, the Free National Movement is stagnant because everyone has to continue to be able to genuflect before the proverbial emperor that exists in the organization before they can be able to take up their arms and fight for the thing that they envision, fight for the thing that they believe. Hubert Ingram has been a stalemate in the organization for a very long time. Not since 1992, I'm going to be very clear with you, but for long enough that there needs to come a time in our minds that, okay, maybe I'll do better over here. Maybe I'll do better over here. Yeah, I've come to an understanding. I've come to an understanding in my life. I've seen some things just through observation. They see me giving you one of these old people. Well, you know, I live a long time, and I've seen some. No. This is not me giving you that. I'm simply saying to you that through observation, I've seen some things. Right? I'm going to say this to you. I have watched my grandmother, not so much my grandfather, because he was always sort of a free bird. Yeah, he never was locked down to, the rhythm and formation of an occupation. He never was locked down to a specific occupation. Not during my birth, not during my lifetime, right? Not during the time that he was with us. He never was locked down. My grandfather was a barber. He was a farmer. He was what you call the people who do the cattle, right? He had animals, right? He was a boat captain. He was a fisherman. Every Jesus thing. The first time I would have heard the terminology and the phrase "jack of all trades," it was, I think, my grandmother rowing him. Lionel, you're a jack of all damn trades, right? Like his name, they call him Parboy, but his name is Lionel, right? And it's the first time I would have seen that. So he was always a kind of a free soul. My grandmother, she used to work to BTC. Well, it wasn't BTC, it was Batelco at the time, right? She was a switchboard supervisor. So you remember one time ago, young people wouldn't know this, but you remember one time ago, you touched the phone, you hit the zero, right? Operator, how may I help? Yeah, patch me through to a number, 305-157-6472, right? Whatever the case may be, right? And they would patch you through. My grandmother was the supervisor for that section, right? It was just plug-ins. They would take you and they plug you into this section. They take you and they plug you into that section. And this is how that worked. My grandmother, she did that for years. I've been up and down that switchboard operating room for the longest time with my grandmother when I was young. Oh man, Aunt Ethel and Aunt Gaynell and all these people that she made me call everybody auntie. I don't know these people, nothing to me, you know. She made me call everybody auntie. That's your aunt, baby. That's your aunt. So, so I would go there. And she had formation, she had structure, she had sense of consistency, she was present, she had purpose, she knew that she was depended upon. A lot of people needed her to be able to show up to make their life easier. And so her worth and value was an external thing. It had nothing to do specifically with family. Her worth and value within the confines of family is that she was the provider, a sense of consistency in terms of provision, right? Listen, Grammy, I need $500. Grammy, I need $1,000. Mama, I need $2,000. I need whatever. Mama, I need you to help me, whatever. She was financially structured and stable and capable of being able to do those things. Now, what I've recognized and understood over the years, my grandfather, his brother died in the Chalks airline, my Uncle Don, right? And that took him out. He probably would have lived until Jesus come, but the grief that hurt him. You remember the Chalks airline that was going from Bimini, where it blew up in the air? His brother was on that flight, Uncle Don, right? And Uncle Don was living in Bimini, Don Smith. And my grandfather, he died of a broken heart. He died, his younger brother died. He died of a broken heart. He was so sad. He was living and we missed him. He was living. He never took us fishing anymore. He was living and we missed him. And he had heart issues and passed away. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Now, let's be clear about some stuff. Beyond that, my grandmother, who's still living with us, the first years of her retirement post-Batelco was hard years. It was rough years. She didn't have to get up. She didn't have to put on a brassiere and a slip and her stockings and her girdle and a this and a that. Obviously, I know. Come strap my brassiere for me, baby. Yeah, it's my grandmother. I love her very much. I tell you, I love my grandmother very much. Right? And the first years post-retirement were rough years. She needed to find purpose. She needed to find occupation. She needed to find productivity. She needed to find value in the things that she did. And so she started to poke herself in places where she thought that she could be able to make a difference. So she started to do a little business here, but she was inconsistent with that. She started to do something there. She was inconsistent with that. And as time continued to be able to meander, she found herself in this position where her knees gave out. Her voice never did. So she would still yell at you to be able to keep herself relevant and just wanted to be able to be alive. And so when I moved there with her after my grandfather died, she asked me to move and she said, baby, live here with me, right? So I said, Grammy, I don't know if I'll bring my children in this house, right? So she said, yeah, baby, I need you to live with me. There's nobody here in this big house. And I want to give you the house when I go. This is what she says to me. I say, okay, Grammy, no problem. We can be able to do something with you. I moved in, and she was so happy to have my kids there. She says to me, she says, baby, listen. The children give the house life again. She said, the house is living again. You got children running up and down. You're cooking. You and your wife cleaning up. You got the place. She says that the house is living again. She said, I want you to stay here with me. Well, it didn't happen that way. And essentially, as soon as I moved, she slipped into sort of a mental fatigue where she found herself in this position of being able to, her memory was slipping. Yeah? her memory started to slip, right? And as her memory started to slip, she became distant, and I became heartbroken. But this is what's happening. I recognize with the amount of elderly, senior, seasoned people that I have in my life, that retirement doesn't mean abolition. Retirement doesn't mean eradication. Retirement does not mean elimination. These people still got to live. They still here, they still got to live, they still got to be able to be productive, but they have to make modifications for the position that they're in to be able to find that they can produce in another space. They can no longer function in the capacity that they were. I don't care if they still conscious, mobile, it doesn't matter. They cannot continue to be in this particular capacity anymore. For whatever sake, for the sake of transition, for the sake of growth, for the sake of the ecosystem of that environment, for the sake of a natural growth and development, whatever that is. Hubert Ingram did not allow that to happen in the Free National Movement. Jesus, I gone all our way to tell you that. Hubert Ingram did not allow this organic concept and idea of growth and development in the Free National Movement to continue because he had not officially retired and stepped back from this position. I make light of it the other night with Garth as I sat on Shanique's platform. Garth starts to ask me about it's sort of a concept that says, well, why did Heather Hunt didn't do this, and why didn't this happen, and all these things that he started to ask me. And so I said to him, I said, Garth, listen, how much time you want me to call one man name? This ways than calling Bloody Mary. Jesus uses ways to call in Beetlejuice. Every time you call one man name, you get in problems. I say, I'm not calling Hubert Ingram name. How much time you want me to call his name to let you know that his interference in every one of these steads has led to the turmoil that we're seeing coming out of the Free National Movement. No one can say that. In every inflection, there has been a tumultuous situation whenever he interfered. In every inflection, in Eleuthera with Philippa, there was an interference. In South Beach with Darren and Jamal not being able to get that, there was interference. In North Abaco, there was interference. In Southern Shores, there was interference. These are the inflection points that you've identified in the Free National Movement that continues to be able to spill over into the public domain about what happened and what did not happen. He has not allowed the organization to grow by itself. He's manipulated it. Like one of them Chinese trees. Oh my God, what's the tree called? Where they put the wire around and make it shape in a particular manner. Yeah. He's manipulated it like an intrusive gardener to be able to grow as he wish. Now, biblically, we understand the Word of God says to us to bend a tree while it is young. However, the Free National Movement is no longer a young organization. It's 50 years old. It's 50 years old. And being able to identify that now as we have this conversation and talk about these things, when you're going to let the organization be able to take its own course? How long we can hold the Free National Movement hands? From 1992 to now, Hubert Ingram has not let go of the Free National Movement. My son, 19 years old. And I only get involved when he calls me, Daddy, I need some assistance, and I could be able to assist him like that. I ain't calling him every day and telling him, you gonna do this, or do this, or do that. Now, it can be that the Free National Movement has become like invalids, impotent. They're unable to do anything themselves because they don't believe that they hold the strength and capacity to do that anymore, simply because they were spoon-fed the entire time. My aunt did that. We grew up in a house with more than one family. And my aunt, who is my uncle's wife, she's from Dominica, Santo Domingo, right? And she speaks with her, every time she say but, she say pero, right? She says, yeah, pero I don't understand. And yeah, so I love her very much, Dione. She fed her children. She had 2 children from my uncle, a boy and a girl. She spoon-fed them. Tell them must be 13, 14. I swear, honest to God, I ain't lying to you. I think she may still do it. They're growing. Both of them married now, maturing. And she would still take a spoon to their mouth, right? We used to make fun of them. Oh, yeah, but we're going to feed you it. You want me to feed you it? We laughing at them. And my cousin, he didn't care nothing. He sit right there and open his mouth. 11 years old, 12 years old. And then eventually, he stopped it. There's nothing wrong with mothering, but it comes a juncture when we have to allow the seed to be able to be a seed unto itself. The Free National Movement has been spoon-fed from 1992. And because you like the warmth of victory, 1992, 1997, 2007, because you like the warmth of victory, you will always go back to the hand that fed you. Is this okay? Is it okay that we do this? Is it okay that we do that? You have to grow up. You must grow up. There is a certainty in life. There's a certainty in life. Hubert Ingram will not always be with us. You have to prepare yourself to be able to be the leaders that you claim and pronounce to the Bahamas that you are. There's a certainty that exists in this space. And you must be the leaders within your organization that you claim and you project to the Bahamian people that you are. And it's time for us to be able to see that. So, I don't know how y'all going to be able to identify Hubert Ingram and be able to give him an opportunity to produce, and so he could retain his political collateral, his contribution could still be rich. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to have to find something to do to allow your organization to organically and naturally grow. Because you should not be afraid of people like Shannon Cartwright. You should not be afraid of youthful, young, vibrant, bright, charismatic people. These are the same people that are being, the PLP arms are flung open wide to accept these people within the folds of their organization, an organization that's 70-some years old. An organization that is the oldest organization in this country politically. And they still open their arms and their hearts and their wallets in many instances to youthful, dynamic young men and women to be able to join the fold of the organization. How is it that you're 20-some years younger than them and you don't understand this? How? You got to do better than that. We got to find ourselves in a better position than this. That's all I want to say to you. All right? When we get back, we can talk a little bit about these particular things. Time doubled due to brutality of the attack. And in the papers today, Jared Darville being able to talk about the allegations of mistreatment out of Princess Margaret Hospital by those who were responsible for being able to give care. He says that it opens up new wounds for him, and his wife is back in the papers after 2 years and some. Let's talk about it. We're going to take this quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
say they wanna know where I go. Alright, watch out. I come from the 242, where we like beat drum and we drink sky juice. Epic ride inside the vehicle. Everywhere stage we move the needle. They wanna know the life living down so, cause the cautious keeping on. No concern, corruption must burn. MP drunk, police is flip birds. Blood on the streets, code for the gang, they gone obsolete. Killing up women and children and ting. Politician and the drug boy, them got link. Now what to think? Look what you see. Don't care but you, don't care but me. They street boys still own everything. Now so funky. Saying things getting better, but I just can't tell. Selling the land and building up hotel. What about the small man? Where they gonna go? Back, mother and child. Where they gonna go? Cost of living going up. Another party color that I just can't trust. They want but rocket for Elon Musk. Stealing from the people at a big surplus. Vulture in a divested disguise. Every day I know the ancestor them cry. Walk with pride and fought the front line. Only for the sons to walk the road blind. Run turbulence with no compromise like Isaac the Kid. Tired seeing poor people suffering and getting tricked by the government again and again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Very quick break. We just wanted to be able to take with you and just kind of talk about some of the things that's happening out here. Excuse me. One of the things that we got to be able to bring to the forefront is I got a call this morning asking me about Patricia DeVoe and my thoughts about that. I'm just reading in the paper now. And so we're going to read some of these things to be able to find out exactly what's what. And her position, now we would have already heard some things about whether or not she's actually going to run and her interests as it relates to being able to go forward. Now, this is an addictive thing. This is a monster. This kind of a monstrous posture and position have consumed the best of men and women in our country. Yeah, the idea of the endorphins that you capture, that you hoard, right? Like, gotta catch 'em all, like Pokemon, right? You gotta be able to, this feeling that invokes you, that envelops you, that it develops in you, that erupts within you. When people say, hey, Chief, Mr. Speaker, yes, Chief, Member of Parliament, Minister, whatever these things is. This subconscious, this thing that it does something to the human mind. And if we look monetarily, a great deal of these persons are not necessarily being able to be enriched. But their richness exists in the perception. Their richness exists in the idea that you genuflect when they arrived. Their richness exists in the prestige of this position, the social elevation. It killed a lot of these men and women. Kill a lot of them. Kill. I cannot to speak more specifically and give you specificity to these particular things, but we know, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Men and women have died in pursuit of the endorphins that give, that present themselves or that you capture when someone be able to call you in the prestige of your office. They pursue this. Family is broken up. All sorts of things happen because men and women pursue a position to be viewed socially in a particular light. That's the preamble. Let's read. DeVoe confirms desire. Let's see if we can be able to get this. She confirms the desire to run in Bamboo Town again. House Speaker Patricia DeVoe has confirmed she will seek re-election in the Bamboo Town and is confident of being renominated, but made clear that she would remain loyal to the Progressive Liberal Party even if she is denied the party's nod. Okay. Ms. DeVoe, the member for the Bamboo Town, confirmed her intentions to run again months after saying that she was undecided. You remember this? Months after saying that she was undecided about seeking a second term and after dismissing online speculations about her political future. She described the rumors as political mischief, telling the Tribune, "I was born here. I live here." "I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere." That's what she said. "I was born here. I live here. I still here. I ain't going nowhere." That's what she said. And then she goes on and says, "I'm not perfect." Okay, let's read this. She says, "I'm not perfect, but I believe that I'm a good representative." Okay. She says her comments came amid criticisms from one of the constituents who have described her representation as lackluster, and and said more could have been done. The constituency, addressing the criticism, Ms. DeVoe said that progress has been made, even as she acknowledged that there's more work to do. She pointed to infrastructure projects, including park repairs, Kennedy Park, Zion Boulevard, and additional areas to follow, as well as road paving completed in the neighborhoods. She also cited that pre-holiday cleanup campaigns and ongoing spraying exercises. Patricia, I love you. I love you. But it's nothing you say here that wasn't going to happen if you ain't there. Nothing. There was nothing that you labeled here and identified that what happened, that will not happen in the event that you leave. The Department of Environmental Health Services is responsible for spraying. Ministry of Works is responsible for paving. These companies and entities still exist. She also cited pre-holiday cleanup campaigns. The Department of Environmental Health Services and other NGOs will do that. It still will go on if you're not here. Let's go. I'm not saying to diminish what you've done or the instructions that you've given. I'm simply saying to you that to be able to highlight and specify and bring to the forefront and project as positivity and growth for the constituency of Bamboo Town, these particular items, the fact of the matter is that these would go on without you. You need to be able to isolate, separate yourself to say that this is something specifically that we've done that came out from my heart, that came out from the heart of the community, that I was able to institute and be able to project manage and execute to ensure that this is something that they could see, feel, and touch. This is something that I can put my fingerprint on and say, I've done this. That's not in the lineup. For instance, Jamal Strawn can say, we put up a community center. Jomo Campbell can say, we put up a community center. You understand what I'm saying? This ain't no diss. I'm only saying, this ain't no diss. You understand? We need to be able to see, how do you differentiate yourself? Fred Mitchell could say, we put up a center, the little children in Fox Hill could swim up and down all the time. I did that. How do you differentiate yourself and be able to leave your mark in a space when you show up? You understand what I'm saying? How do you do that? And it can't be done by being able to say the government entities who is responsible, who people getting paid to do this on a month-to-month basis, on a week-to-week basis, that they've done it. It's not because of you. It's because that's their job. That's their job. Okay? Let's go further and be able to read these things. So she started to talk about Zion Boulevard with additional areas to follow, as well as road paving completed in some neighborhoods. She also cited that pre-holiday cleanup and campaigns and ongoing spraying exercises. For the first time ever in the constituency of Bamboo Town, we now have our very own Urban Renewal Center. Okay, we're getting closer. And then she says, since Urban Renewal is now up and running, operational on East Street South, crime has really gone down in Bamboo Town. You always have to pair what you say with statistics, okay? So I'm just saying, don't just perpetuate this sort of an idea of a sentiment or a feeling or, I didn't hear as many gunshots. I normally count them every month. But, since the Urban Renewal Center gone down, I've heard less. No. Pair what you're saying with statistics. It's not hard. Put somebody on your team to get to work to these things. Listen, I don't have no problem schooling all y'all, Y'all put Shot Spotter to work. Shot Spotter can give you statistical, geographical location as to where guns gone off. You could pull up all the Shot Spotter in Bamboo Town and say, when have you heard these guns? Boom, 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 boom. Do it over the past 7 months and make a determination as to whether or not, and you can quantify that crime has gone down. This is when we looking and knowing our MPs working. Not just by hitting us with the emotional, I feel like, no. Hit us with the numbers. If this is your only job, hit us with the numbers. Get your team to work on these things. Hit us with the numbers. Let people see that you're different, that you're using your data to be able to drive progress, to drive growth, to drive development in your constituency. Hit us with the numbers. Don't just be casual with the situation. Be deliberate. And provide us with the information necessary. Let's dive deeper into it and find out exactly what's what. So she says, there was a period when petty theft and housebreaking were widespread, but added that the center has helped to address those problems. How? She says, nonetheless, she said that flooding remains a major concern and her top priority, full stop. And then she goes on to say that we need to get some of the flood zones taken care of. She said that we really need that. Road paving and flood zones, that's been an issue for me. Okay. How? Okay. She said, responding to the complaints that she is not visible enough, Ms. DeVoe said that her constituency office remains open and accessible. That means that you in it. Let's be clear, man. The people asking you a clear question, let's not skirt like a politician. Let's deal with the situation head on, okay? So it says, the only time I don't see persons is if I'm sick. Now, this is heavy. Hold on. I can highlight this, all right? I can put that there. I can read this whole thing. Y'all ain't gonna fight me. I can read this whole thing because I've heard some little chit-chatter about her posture, position, and what our expectations could be with her. So let's just talk about it. It says, the only time I don't see persons is if I'm sick, and that's cold or sinus. And the other day, I was in the hospital. Let's keep reading. Because you ain't helping your position. Let's be clear. Let's keep reading. So it goes on to say, the other day I was in the hospital, or if I'm away, Jesus Christ, everything ain't to be said, Patricia. So you just be sick often, you're in a hospital, and when you're in a hospital or sick, you're away. I only reading what you put on the situation. I'm not going to fight you. Let's read. Outside of that, I see my constituency and my constituents, and so for me, this is personal. This is about what it is? Servantry. She said that she remains strong. She said that she maintains strong relationships with school and community members in Bamboo Town, adding that her style of representation does not always translate into photo opportunities. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Anything that is constructive criticism, I'm willing to take. But I can tell you this. I think I'm the best choice for Bamboo Town. I believe that I will take care of Bamboo Town. But the residents saying something different, though. Let's go. Some residents have publicly voiced support for Ms. DeVoe. They have, including Julian Ferguson. You always calling and telling me that, right? And then goes on to say that we need. This is the, I suppose, the residents. This is, we need her to stay right here. Right here. She is, because this is the best MP we had. Not telling Sid Wells. Okay. And the longtime resident, this is Madeline Robinson. And so one of the questions of renomination, Ms. DeVoe said that she believes that she has the backing of the PLP's candidate committee, but stresses that she would accept whatever the decision is made. I am extremely proud of the work that I've done. Listen, I am the Speaker of the House. I have no formal portfolio, and I don't have a ministry. That's what she said. So for me, hold on, guys. So she said, for me, I do everything at the grace of my colleagues to get what I've been able to accomplish in this time. I've done more than what I've seen some sitting MPs do in 10 years in my short span. The Bamboo Town seat is expected to be closely contested. The Free National Movement has nominated Chairman Dwayne Sands, while the former MP Renwood Wells has also announced plans to run. Now, this chair got my leg. Anyway, now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. I don't want to add to speculations, rumors, and fan the flames of indifference that exist within the organization. However, sitting in this strategic space, I get a lot of calls. A lot of calls and a lot of conversations, and a lot of persons would have said to me that they don't believe that she is up for, let's put it in that particular light, up for running, because she has been battling with some of the issues within herself. This is what I've understood. She has been battling with some issues within herself. There has been rumors floating, I don't know whether or not it's out of the PLP, but it is out of the mouths of persons who support the PLP. There have been rumors that has indicated that she may not run. And that coupled with the fact that when we've seen her, she was undecided. She was very indecisive. She was not sure her posture and position. She was indecisive. Okay? As a result of that, listening back to her and her position and so forth and so on, and then she would have been able to take on this position that indicate that there was a level, this subtly she said, this is, she didn't use these words, but this is a subtle innuendo associated with what she said. There is a level of misogyny pronounced that exists in here, and there needs to be more respect given to women representation. Do you remember? You remember this? You remember? Do you remember her taking on this posture? Okay. And so she spoke, and she spoke in that light and in that manner, and being able to talk about those things. And, you know, nobody said anything. She just gone ahead and do what she has to do. We did not expect that she would be given the nomination or even considered for the nomination after she would have been able to, when it's time for us to gear up and put on our shoes and really run the full slate of 32 candidates under the PLP, getting ready to get up and run. There are some candidates, members of parliament that exist now, who are indifferent with strapping their shoes on and actually running for the victory of their organization. You start off in the wrong posture. You start off in this sort of a light that says, well, you know, I'm really into it, you know. I'm really into it. No, not like that. You start off in this posture, in this position. And this is what happens. This is what happens. Now, the PLP doesn't want to run off. They don't want this kind of an issue. They don't want what's happening in North Eleuthera, where Sylvanus Petty has indicated that he'll step back with formality. And next thing you know, he's coming back, whether or not he was called or not. What does that leave Wade Perseny? Was this JP? The Perseny. Where does that leave him? Where does that leave us? The PLP doesn't want that again. And so I suppose they're just saying to her, come on. But she doesn't possess the enthusiasm. And definitely, if we read this, the resume of accomplishment that exists in this particular space, it doesn't matter whether or not you sat in this capacity or not. Delegation is real. Vision is real, and delegation is real. Somebody called me and said, Howard, what you going to do if somebody has called you to go take over this corporation or do that or do the next thing? What you going to do with your business? I said, well, I'm not going anywhere, which is true, but delegation exists. In the event that I just make a decision, I can put someone over here and say, hey, do this, do the next thing. Delegation is real. Even though you sit in the capacity, watch me, of Speaker of the House of Assembly, and the responsibilities are weighty upon you. Delegation is real. You're getting paid. As a member of Parliament, you're getting paid. As a Speaker of the House of Assembly, you're getting paid to work these jobs. So nothing else in your life matters. Outside of, like you indicated, your health. I don't know whether or not your position to the public is strong enough to make us believe that you not only ready to go, but that you're speaking in the light of victory. Now, I still believe that victory may be your companion. Watch me. I still believe that if you run, that victory will be your companion. I believe that. I am convinced that Renford Well would get 350 votes. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that Maria Daxon will get about 150 votes minimum. She could go up from there, but she can get 150 votes minimum. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that if anybody else jump in, they may get about 60 votes. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that you could retain in your particular capacity, because I don't have the numbers before you, in your capacity, you may fall off by 200 people who voted for you last time. But I am absolutely convinced that Dr. Dwayne Sand will have a tumultuous, it'll be turmoil, it'll be tumultuous as he steps up and presents himself to that constituency. It's a poor pairing. It's a poor pairing. Poor. It's a poor pairing. People don't talk about Dr. Dwayne Sands good now. He don't know how to talk to people. He, this is what they say, not me. They're saying me. And to pair him with a different social caliber of people, out of desperation, out of necessity, out of whatever, it's a poor look. I believe that defeat will be his companion again. I believe that. And I believe as a result of that, because anybody else could beat you. Let's not, hold on. Well, not anybody else, but you can be beat in that seat, Patricia. Let's just be decent. We're not saying that you're the absolute best and come hell or high water, no matter who come, you can take them out. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that this is your proverbial perfect storm. That if all the elements remain the same, they will extract from Dwayne Sands as opposed to being able to take from you. That's what I'm saying to you. They will extract from Dwayne Sands. As a result of taking from Dwayne Sands, the PLPs will not be voting for Dwayne Sands. The PLPs will not be voting for Maria Daxon. The PLPs will not be voting for anyone else except you. Now, you have the responsibility to fortify and ensure that you could capture those votes. You know where these people are. You know where they are right now. You don't got to wait till the bell ring. Go see these people now. The people tell me that you wasn't 100%. That's what they tell me. They tell me that you wasn't 100%. I tried to hail you when you was downtown. I say, Mr. Speaker, you kept walking. I didn't fight you. The guard say, Howard. And I say, okay, praise God. I leave it alone. It's hard to miss me. I's a big fella. And I ain't short. I tower in 6'2". So people could see me. And you ain't see me. I'm not fighting you. You need to get back to work. You could win this. I believe that victory will be your friend. I believe that victory will visit you. I believe that. But there's certain preparations that you must make before that can happen. You got to go down there. You can see a donkey. Make sure you jump on the donkey. Make sure that they put palms in the street. Make sure these things happen before you get that visitation. And do the things that you're required to do. All right? So let's talk about that. All the best to you, Patricia. Remember, don't take these things personal. I see that you say that you could take constructive criticism. You got to swim through the perceived destruction to find the constructivity in this, or to find the constructive nature in these particular things. So don't fight me and don't cuss me. I said I believe that victory will be your friend. I could say to you that Bamboo Town people are indifferent in terms of what the information has come out of there, but I still believe that you hold the cards and victory is yours. Let's take this quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
Say they wanna know where I go. Tell her. Alright, watch out. I come from the 242, where we like beat drum and we drink sky juice. Epic ride inside the vehicle. Everywhere stage we move the needle. They wanna know the life living on soul, cause the cautious keeping on. No concern, corruption must burn. MP drunk, police is flip birds. Blood on the streets, code for the gang, they gone obsolete. Killing up women compromise like I certificate. Tired seeing poor people suffering and getting tricked by the government again and again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Final segment, just being able to talk to you. I got to be able to shout out my good, decent people on East Street South. Crystal Select. I can make that jingle for him, you know. Crystal Select. Yeah, I can make that jingle for him. Guys, make sure you go down there and get some of the most refreshing water known to man as you continue to be able to do this as you climb out of the stretch of being able to have, all them salty things you just drink and eat and all them sugary things, and you need something refreshing that is restorative, reviving, that could be able to rejuvenate you in the way that you desire. Make sure you go down to my good friend Clark, Andrew Clark, and his place. He got some stuff on East Street South. So when you hit East Street South, it's just after you come over Soldier Road and you're headed south. So you're going over East Street South, coming over Soldier Road. You can pass Esso Mart on the right-hand side, Tiger Mart, right, on the right-hand side. You're going down, right, you're headed down. And then on the left-hand side, where they had, the little liquor store would just be in the window. Just before that, you're going to see, just after that, I'm sorry, you're going to see some, a bunch of water normally be outside. And there's a gate that goes in the back. That is his whole setup right there. It is Crystal Select. It's beautiful. The water is refreshing. It truly is. It's refreshing. He took me on a tour in the space, and it was absolutely excellent. Guys, go down there and get some Crystal Select. Boom. And we could be able to do that. Now, listen, there's some things going on, and I think I want to finish this conversation today when you're going to see me a little later on this evening. We're going to be talking with Garth. He's supposed to be sitting with me today. And we're also going to be talking with Gabby. Gabby is one of the persons who I brought on my show prior, but she's been out here like a philanthropist of talk shows and being able to do it, right? And so she should be sitting with me tonight. And when we start to have this kind of a conversation, we'll talk about and sort of dissect what we're saying. We didn't dissect Grand Bahama. We didn't dissect these particular things, so we can be able to do that today. And we could be able to move forward and make some stuff happen. We're going to have a conversation about that this evening. But as we look at this, Boleg and PLP Senator Randy Rowe this is the Guardian that I'm reading now. Boleg and this is Carlton Boleg, who was ratified for the constituency of North Andros and the Berry Islands. He's now looking to go to Bimini and the Berry Islands. And I suppose he's leaving North Andros alone. That's peculiar. That's peculiar. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, sir? Let's read a little taste of it. It says Progressive Liberal Party PLP Senator Randy Rowe and Carlton Boleg, who was ratified by the Free National Movement, last year for what was then the North Andros and the Berry Islands seat, are both reportedly eyeing the new Bimini and Berry Island seat that was recommended by the Constituencies Commission. When contacted yesterday, Boleg was evasive, right? Skirting and running from the question. When asked if he wanted to be nominated for the new seat. But sources in the party say that Boleg has made it known that he favors Bimini and the Berry Islands. The PLP has not yet announced a candidate, but sources in the party say that Randy Rowe is the preferred candidate for the new Family Island seat. Rowe, a former consul general in Atlanta who now is the executive chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, could not be reached for comment. Boleg told The Guardian yesterday that he will continue championing in both I say championing. Why? Why am I? It's campaigning. I'm freaking out, right? He continued to campaign in both North Andros and Berry Islands, despite the constituency being split up. It's a waste of time and utter nonsense that he's talking. You can continue to campaign in a constituency that's no longer, and you need clarity, sir, and not to exhaust yourself by being able to hotbox against the wind. It ain't hard. Tell the fellas that make up your mind, ratify you for North Andros and Bimini. Bimini and Berry Islands. Simple. Now, I personally would never put you in Bimini and Berry Islands. Not me. Not me. I don't care how well you did polling. I would not put you in Bimini and Berry Islands. You have to go down there in North Andros and fight that out with Lightbourne. Yeah, I would not put you in Bimini. Why? There are some bright lights that exist in Bimini right now in the Free National Movement. For instance, watch this. No, and he don't cuss, but I know he'll call me on this if he's listening. Oral Ellis, Senior, would be superb to run in the constituency of Bimini and the Berry Islands. Well known, well respected, articulate, insightful, faith-based, convicted, saved, sanctified, full of the Holy Ghost. He'll be the right man. Now, he sits in advisory capacity. He sits in the position where he could tell people to move in this direction or not. But he is superb in that area. I would not choose you, Mr. Carlton Bowleg, to go to Bimini and the Berry Islands. That's just not me. Or we can be able to put some feelers out and see what the Berry Islands has to offer. Yeah, let's see what the Berry Islands has to offer. Because the truth of the matter is that we've just heard recently, well, call Erica Knowles. She got a lot of words to say. Call Erica Knowles and see if she's interested. Has she shown any light for this? If she could say things in front of the camera, are you prepared to do these things? Come on, huh? Has she shown any spunk and tenacity in community leadership? Come on. Come on. Let's be clear about these particular things. Let's just see if we can finish reading it. Bowleg told The Guardian yesterday that he continued to be able to campaign in North Andros and the Berry Islands despite the constituency being split up. The boundaries report was tabled in the House of Assembly on Wednesday, and the Constituencies Commission recommended that the creation of 2 new constituencies, St. James in Western New Providence and the Bimini and Berry Islands. Bowleg, who has represented North Andros and the Berry Islands between 2017 and 2021, said that he is not worried about the boundaries changes, expressing confidence that the opposition party will win both seats, even though those areas are currently represented by the PLP members of Parliament. I'm not worried, this is what he said. When asked about the North Andros and Berry Island constituencies being split up, I strongly believe that no matter which way it is, it benefits me in any event. This is what he says. Is that Bowleg said that he will continue to work in both the Andros and the Berry Islands until the new boundaries report is signed and the Governor General, Cynthia Pratt. This is right now, I am ratified in North Andros and the Berry Islands, Bowleg said, until this thing goes to the Governor General to put her ink on it, on the paper. It remains that way. I continue, sir, this thing already didn't finish. We're just waiting for the formalities. So he says, I continue to work with North Andros and the Berry Islands, and I will continue to do so because people are frustrated. I'm going to continue to do my part to make sure that I bring relief to the people in those areas. Boleg did not respond directly when asked if he wanted to be nominated for the new constituency of Bimini or the Berry Island. See, at this point in time, I feel quite confident as the leader of the FNM has said it doesn't matter whatever takes place, whoever it is, we're going to win both of those seats, Boleg said. But now I'm the ratified candidate for North Andros and the Berry Islands until such time. I will remain focused on that and will continue to work there. Boleg said that the connections to the community in North Andros and the Berry Islands, as well as Bimini, and has worked in all of these islands over the years. He says, I have ties in both places. And that's what he said. He says, I would continue to work to do so, to do what I can for the FNM to be successful in winning both of these seats. I have people in the Berry Islands that have become family to me. And I'm driven from I am driven from North Andros, and I do have a great impact in Bimini. All of these areas I will be working. I will do what I have to do for my party to be successful in the winning of these both seats. I am confident that we are going to win both of those seats. I doubt it. I doubt it seriously. I didn't hear the best things about. Okay, so we do a post-election synopsis. All right? It's almost like an exit poll. It's not a formal thing. It can be formal. We can make it formal. But this is like a post-election analysis. And in 2021, the post-election analysis for each one of the constituency seats has indicated to me that they didn't have the absolute best things to say about you in the constituency of North Andros and the Berry Islands. And if we're looking at those numbers, the disparity exists on the Berry Island portion, so essentially a great deal of these sentiments would have bubbled out of North Andros. And for me, as I'm calculating this and trying to make sense of it all, this is why you would rather go to Bimini and the Berry Islands. I mean, it's simple for me. I think Randy Road is going to do well in the Bimini and Berry Islands. I don't know the sentiment that exists there. We know that it's not a PLP stronghold. We know that. We know that it's not a PLP stronghold. We know that it no longer, because of the dynamics that shifted, because of things that have shifted over the course of time, we know that it is not a space and place that you can be able to say that this is where the PLP can be able to kind of put their hat on the hook. They can't hook their hat on this. Diversity, the inclusion of Bimini Bay Project, and persons coming from various parts of the Bahamas, various influences existing in one space, people co-mingling, different conversations happening, people are saying, open your eyes, do you see this, do you see that, so forth and so on. You can get good strength out of the space for the traditionalists that exist there. However, you can't lean on everyone to make that decision. So what it says to me is that Randy is going to have to work his behind OFF. He's going to have to work. He's going to have to work. And as he continues to be able to work these things and push it forward, that I believe that he's going to do well, but it's going to require a very strong team to do that. And whoever the FNM sends, unless it's someone who is prolific and profound in the space of Bimini, Randy, you could work it over. Randy could be able to make it happen. That's my view. I think Randy has an edge on you. I think Randy has an edge on anyone who goes in that particular constituency. Like I said to you, there are some names that I'm thinking that Randy can't touch with a 15-foot pole in Bimini. And I'm sure if they take that charisma to the Berry Islands, that they could find themselves victorious in that space also. However, in the event that the F&M makes the same decisions that they've been making over the course of time to be able to be settled in this constituency, I can only see Randy coming out victorious. At this time, the fluidity that exists in this particular political space now and over the past 18 months has been something that has caused a great deal of persons who do this regular, who've been able to kind of test the temperature and see the direction of the culture and tradition that exists in our country. It's been causing people to scratch their head. No, this is not normal. This is abnormal. This is something that's peculiar. Yeah. The peculiar nature of these particular things will be taken care of. Let's talk about these things. I want to thank you guys for being able to tune in with us today. I know that we're going to be able to do these things now. We ain't going to have no show on Monday. Eh? You should let me have a little vacation too. Amen? But how about you just came from vacation? Stop it. I know I wanted to say this, but I can't talk about this, man. I said you guys can talk about this, but I can't talk about this. Jared Darville is a very good friend of mine. And the allegations of neglect surrounding the recent death of the patient in Princess Margaret Hospital reopened some wounds for him as he struggled to be able to close since the losing of his 33-year-old wife, nearly 2 years ago. Mr. Darville said that the claims made the family of Clanisha Adderley mirrored what he experienced after his wife died at the Princess Margaret Hospital in January of 2023. Oh man, I can't talk about this for him. I mean, you know, I guess this is what he would want, but I can't, because for me it reopened wounds also. I know him, I know his wife, I know their children, and I know Chosen, their son. And it is not an easy thing. So I continue to be able to pray for him. I pray for his family. I pray for their health and strength. I pray for rejuvenation. I pray for vindication. I pray for retribution. I pray for an opportunity for them to be able to be revived in a sense. That they get vindicated. And these things that happen if you're pursuing these things. I really do. And so I pray for all the best for you. I continue to be able to do that, guys. I want to thank you so much for being able to tune in with us today. I'll see you on Tuesday morning, God spare. Tuesday, 12 o'clock, actually. Tuesday, 12 o'clock, God spare. We'll be here again, jamming with you right here on the foundation. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Whatever you do, do so with sobriety, with a very clear understanding. And I hope that I see you on Tuesday, God spare, God willing, right here on the foundation. Have a great day, guys.
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahama land to the foundation.